Big news yesterday about the investigation by the FBI into Hillary Clinton's email server. And of course, the background, tons of allegations, the investigation, it's being looked at criminally. Donald Trump convinced seemingly that Hillary Clinton was going to be under indictment. Who knows when? It seems like a moving goalpost. Still hadn't happened. Some Bernie Sanders supporters also saying Hillary Clinton will be indicted, and that's a reason that Bernie Sanders should be selected as the Democratic nominee. And in what might be, but probably won't be, FBI Director James Comey's most noticeable or publicized moment, because he is going to be testifying later this week about the same issue. FBI Director James Comey giving a statement yesterday, about 15 minutes, speaking to the press, announcing that the agency would not be recommending charges against Hillary Clinton in that criminal investigation looking into the alleged misconduct over her use of the private email server while she served as Secretary of State. So the investigation's conclusion came after the FBI interviewed Hillary Clinton over the weekend, reportedly more than 3 hours on Saturday. There was a separate probe by the State Department Inspector General, which concluded back in May that Hillary Clinton's email practices did violate long established rules under the Federal Records Act. But that's sort of a separate question as to whether any criminal liability may have or did occur. So not illegal, but careless, sort of the idea from James Comey. Let's take a look at the first clip from his statement yesterday.
Although we did not find clear evidence that Secretary Clinton or her colleagues intended to violate laws governing the handling of classified information, there is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. For example, 7 email chains concern matters that were classified at the top secret special access program at the time they were sent and received. Those chains involve Secretary Clinton both sending emails about those matters and receiving emails about those same matters.
And then what everyone was seemingly waiting for, some kind of statement about, is Hillary Clinton going to be charged or indicted, which of course would not be the decision of the FBI, something the FBI can issue a recommendation about, and that is indeed what James Comey did later in this speech.
Finally, with respect to our recommendation to the Department of Justice, in our system, the prosecutors make the decisions about whether charges are appropriate based on evidence that the FBI helps collect. Although we don't normally make public our recommendations to the prosecutors, we frequently make recommendations and engage in productive conversations with prosecutors about what resolution may be appropriate given the evidence. In this case, given the importance of the matter, I think unusual transparency is in order. Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. Prosecutors necessarily weigh a number of factors before deciding whether to bring charges. There are obvious considerations like the strength of the evidence, especially regarding intent. Responsible decisions also consider the context of a person's actions and how similar situations have been handled in the past.
So let's put aside for a second that some of this really struck me as sort of theatrics from James Comey and wanting some time in the limelight, announcing that he would be giving a speech about an unspecified topic, then spending 15 minutes talking about this. The underlying legal argument that's being made, and we actually have that to put up on the screen for you here, the underlying legal issue is looking at the federal statute that makes it a felony.
Virtually every
the federal statute that makes it a felony to mishandle classified information, either intentionally or in a grossly negligent way. And here that is, straight from the horse's mouth, FBI Director James Comey yesterday, and as well as a second statute making it a misdemeanor to knowingly remove classified information from appropriate systems or storage facilities. So no criminal charges recommended against Hillary Clinton here. But this doesn't really let Hillary Clinton off without valid criticisms of carelessness and technical incompetence at minimum, does it, Lewis?
Yeah. And I mean, carelessness, the question is, yeah, there was carelessness, but was a law broken? Regardless, right?
And a lot of this, you were looking into this, Rachel, struck you this issue of there was no intent, right?
Well, I think the issue is that in law, intent is a multifaceted thing, because a person who carefully plans and executes a crime is considered more dangerous than someone who does it spontaneously. But in the Criminal Justice Act, I think it was in 1967, allows a jury to have kind of a large bandwidth to apply a kind of hybrid test looking at intent and foresight. So even if they're saying that her intent wasn't there, but it was still careless, a lot of people are saying, well, okay, so if I kill someone with a knife, but I actually just meant to cut them, then can I be let off?
Yeah, this is, I was not even really going to talk about this, which was a mistake, and I'm glad you're sort of bringing it up. Since when is lack of intent in criminality, in the justice system more broadly, used as an exculpatory sort of element? And a lot of people emailed me about this, Lewis, saying this issue that there was no intent determined by Hillary Clinton, whether or not you believe an indictment is valid or not, or the specifics of the case, there's sort of the bigger picture, which is, by definition, many times people are indicted and found guilty regardless of intent. There's no sort of blanket umbrella rule that lack of intent means there's nothing worth trying here or indicting.
Yeah, I feel that when it comes to technology, the legal system tends to give people the benefit of the doubt more frequently than in other situations.
Yeah.
Right. And in this case, we're talking about someone using their email who maybe had no idea what they were doing.
And James Comey addressed that a little bit, Rachel, by saying, well, the fact that emails were deleted, people do delete emails sort of in the general course of managing their email inbox, and it did not show an intent necessarily to hide. And of course, in the end, this is just a recommendation. And then the question, of course, is, are the recommendations different depending on your whether you're rich or poor? No doubt about it. We know that often these recommendations or the justice system work around racially tinged lines, etc. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Today's sponsor is Casper Mattresses, and I'm actually now sleeping on a Casper mattress, and I love it. And for a long time, I was sort of resistant to the idea that it really matters what mattress you have. And I thought, hey, I'm sleeping pretty well. What difference could a different mattress make? And it actually makes a huge difference. And now I've been completely converted into the idea that the mattress you sleep on matters. And you can get $50 towards any mattress purchase by going to casper.com/Pakman and using the code Pakman, Pakman. Check it out. There is a risk-free trial and return policy. If you don't like the mattress, Casper will come and pick it up at their expense. No risk to you. Casper.com/Pakman. The code is Pakman, Pakman. Try it.